LaExcellence IAS Academy. ಭರವಸೆಯ ಬೆಳಕು.
Welcome all guys. I think I'm assuming that you all know me. At least you have seen these pamphlets. So do I have to introduce? If yes, so I'll try to introduce myself in a brief manner. Do I have to? Okay. I'm Nagendra Babu Kumar. I have given 7 attempts at UPSC, given 4 mains and 3 interviews. Currently, I have given this particular interview. I'm awaiting the results. And then my optional is PSI, and that's why I chose Polity as my first subject. And most importantly, Polity, because it is a bit easy, and then you get most questions right if your concepts are clear. So I took philosophical aspects of Polity because Polity is easy, and then you can get it more right. The accuracy you can increase in Polity. That's why I start with Polity section. Then let's dive into these questions. This was 2023 question. In the essence, what does due process of law mean? Anyone can answer that? Have you seen the questions previous years? Like, what is the answer that institutes are giving? UPSC hasn't given the correct answer yet. The answer for this is procedure established by law. Okay, you have seen the answer. No. What about principle of natural justice? So, have you heard of this concept, PNJ? USA has which one? Due process of law. Okay. Procedure established by law is taken from British. Good. Okay. So the answer given by this institutes are this: fair application of law. Somebody has given this thing also. UPSC hasn't given the correct these answers, like what they say? Key answers. So we assume it can be both. It can be both, but until UPSC decides it, we don't take into particular stand. This time or next time also, they can ask what is PNJ. You know what is that? Principle of natural justice. Just when you look at these things in the UPSC question paper, just try to understand what are these concepts, because UPSC has the habit of asking the words that they have used in their previous questions in next attempts. So have clarity about this concept and all. And this thing, have you heard of constitutionalism? Constitutionalism. Constitution is supreme and government is limited. So that question has been repeated again and again, not once. In 2023 it was asked, maybe in 2020 it was asked, before that also it was asked. So what is the answer for this? A, B, C, D, which one? Can you see that? Read it and then give the answer. C. Possibly C, right? So this was 2021 ka question, and the same question which is constitutional government, constitution of a country, purpose, constitutional government and constitutionalism, everything has this same or similar kind of a meaning, that is limited government, not limited rights. Okay, the rights of a state is limited, not that of individuals. And then when the other question is state, do you know what the state means actually? Is it abstract concept or the territorial concept? Territorial. Abstract. It's not territorial. It is both abstract as well as territorial. So there are 4 features of state. You know that? Okay.
What is under like PSUs?
No, that's not the state. State in the terms of a country. So there are 4 features of it. If you know the 4 features, then you can deduce the answer. So the 4 features are, and then, and population. Yes, that's why, because of territory, it's territorial concept. And even the government of India, when we say that, that's not the state actually. That's the manifestation of state. Governments may change, but state doesn't change. State remains static. That's why it's called more or less abstract concept. So what is the answer for it? This question? Have anyone attempted this question? The definition of state? Try to have a discussion here. You can choose. Even if it goes wrong, at least you are attempting, you're trying, you're learning. Attempt, make a mistake and then learn. If you don't make mistakes, you don't know where you're lagging, where your gaps are. Okay, there are another 2 options. Just try to read that also. B. So I gave the 4 features of state. With that you can deduce. What is sovereignty?
We are not under control of any nation.
So there is independence. So where is independence in this this one? Options. Only first option has independence. So with that you can easily get the answer within one attempt, within maybe 30 seconds. If you have the clarity of what the definition is, what the features of the particular concept is. What is the answer of 14th question? It's visible, right? Why not committed judiciary? So because it is committed, it can safeguard the liberties, right? So committed judiciary means committed to government policies. Usually it was visible in Soviet. The concept started in Soviet, USSR. The Stalin used to call for committed judiciary. So again, the constitutional government, the definition of it. So that means limited government, as you know. Appropriate definition of liberty. Absence of restrictions. So why not opportunity to develop oneself fully? Usually that was the answer that institute used to give, right? So why not that?
Liberty means it's like more than freedom.
Okay. So freedom to develop, right? It is just an opportunity to develop. Okay. And then? Okay. Yes. So absence of restraint was given by Thomas Hobbes, and then opportunity to develop oneself fully was given by John Locke. Usually, that was a negative thing. Another was not John Locke, J.S. Mill. So another one is a positive liberty. but UPSC chose negative liberty as the answer. We don't know why, but you should just have the idea of what is negative liberty as well as positive liberty. It may ask at any point of time. Positive liberty?
It's nothing but the freedom.
See, conceptually, liberty and freedom has different meanings. More or less, it sounds similar, but has different meanings. Usually, the libertarians and well as liberals use liberty as their concept. Freedom is used by Marxists, communists. They use freedom in a similar manner, but in a different way. How state involves in the functions of day-to-day daily life. Based on that, they use these words.
Freedom is a positive liberty. We can say that.
Not completely. See, I don't want to dive into this PSIR concepts and all. It's just a similar, more or less similar concepts, but different school of thought uses it differently. The liberals never use more or less freedom. That is used by Karl Marx. It started with Karl Marx and all. And UPC has this nicest way of asking questions, which is the nicest definition and appropriate definition of law and liberty. The relation between law and liberty. First of all, what is law? You have clarity, right? Is law a rule? Set of rules and regulations. Okay. So what is the purpose of law? They can ask justice. Nice. To maintain? See, the purpose is bit large. The overall purpose is to maintain justice and enlarge freedom, enlarge liberty, develop, progress. So I can talk on, go on talking about this, but still, when it comes to this question, what can be the answer? Try to deduce it. How will you deduce it? More laws, less liberty. Okay. See, these questions are all more of a philosophical things which are taken from directly from the scholars' statements. So this is a Locke's statement. If there are no laws, no liberty. That means laws should be there to govern ourselves, to reduce the inconsistencies in our life. So when philosophical questions are asked, think twice. For PSIR, it may be easy, for not for others, not for everyone. And there was another question which was asked in 2020. Where does Gandhiism and Marxism converge? The question is not there. Can you answer where? Stateless and classless society. Did he talk about classless society? Gandhi talked about classless society or what? Classless? Only stateless. See, he was a proponent of Varna system. So he was not against class. He was against state, yes. So what is the implication of equality in society? Absence of competition. Which one? Restraints. Okay. Then liberty? Just now you answered that absence of restraints has liberty. What about absence of claims? Claims. Absence of claims. That you claim this is mine. You claim this property is mine. This chair is mine. Like absence of claims. What is that then? So okay, what is the answer for this? Privileges. So privileges are against the claims. Rights are claims. The claims of a person are called as rights. If the person is claiming the priorities, like you have to prioritize him first, then it becomes a privilege. Do we have privileges in our society? Do we see? Huh? Example? Privilege. That's not a privilege. Not at all a privilege. So privilege is clubs. Exclusive clubs. When you go there, they ask for membership. They have separate privileges there. Okay? You cannot claim that I have a right in clubs. Some century clubs are there where not usually the commoners are allowed. So try to understand what are privileges, what are claims, what are restraints, and what is competition. Like let's say I'll ask about absence of competition means equality. Will you agree for that? Why? UPSC asks why. Sometimes. See, it's a positive discrimination. It's not negative discrimination. Usually privileges are negative discriminations. Like some people are benefited and some people are not. Here, because of historical injustices, they are given bit a positive, reasonable differentiation is made for these people and the other people. So that's the thing. Even when you come to EWS quota, this thing, the positive discrimination is within that general category, not otherwise, right? It doesn't. It is not a horizontal. This one, it's a vertical reservation, but horizontal considering the general category. Try to eliminate the options as much as possible, because if you are eliminating two options, there remains only other two options where 50% of the chance is that you can be right most of the times. That means 50% of the times. And when 10 questions are attempted, like in that manner, so let's say 5 right and 5 wrong. Positive, right? How much positive? And am I right? For a 4.33. 5.66. So some questions, at least 40 questions, you'll have in such a manner that when you look at that question, you'll have the more or less the clear knowledge about it. So our questions now, what you can do is that you can just mark it directly. But some questions you keep it for the second and third rounds. Usually this is what we do when we go through the papers. For the first round, when we read it, if I know the answer directly, some questions there will be questions where I'll know the answer, I'll mark it directly, and then for the second round I'll read once. Every question I'll read once, and some questions will be in such a manner that I can eliminate two options and I'll mark 2 on that. That for these questions, the priority will be in the second round. There will be some questions where I can eliminate only one option. That I'll keep it for third round. I'll mark 3 as soon as I complete reading it. And then some questions we will not have any idea about it. I'll mark nothing. Okay. The issue with that is you have to know all the statements. Previously, it was like you can eliminate some statements and then deduce the answer. But now some questions are like that you cannot eliminate at all. Sometimes you have to take risk. So, or else increase your knowledge base. Try to, that's what I'm telling, try to eliminate the statements as much as possible. And don't eliminate the right ones. Now, what is this question? What is the centrality of this question? Democracy. Okay, what is the answer then? In democracy, there are parties, party workers, campaignings, formation of governments, coalitions. So the answer is D, right? A, why? Peoples. Okay, what is popular sovereignty then? Ruled by people. Okay. Okay, then any other answers? General will. We don't go into PSR right now. What is popular sovereignty in general terms? Like the question can be asked. Popular sovereignty means exactly. So sovereignty is ultimate power. There is no one above you and you are not under someone. So ultimate power lies with you. So why not see a superior individual with dynamism and vision? No one is? No one is? Above the law. It's nothing, see, when we look at rule of law, we say that no one is above law. But here the statement says that superior vision of some people. That means you are distinguishing people based on the talent they have acquired. We usually not have inborn talents. The talents are mostly acquired. Some traits, natural traits, genes, that can be flown through genetics. But most of the talent is said to be acquired. So that's why you cannot distinguish based on that talent, because when you distinguish based on that, you are distinguishing them because of the societal environment they have lived in. Let's say someone who is in urban area who has got better education, healthcare and all, he might have superior vision for the future. And the one who is from the other rural area might not have that superior vision. Can you discriminate between them? And that's what reservation policies is. In one way of telling that. So this one we have already talked about. What is the answer then? B. Okay, why not restricting individual liberty? Why not? So what is the purpose of constitution then? Liberties of the people, and then restrict the authority of the state. Good. So this is all with philosophical aspects. See, even this time also or next time also, the UPSC can have these philosophical aspects, not just in this thing, polity, but also in other areas like society and then environment, some philosophical aspect of it. Like when you take the environment, there is something called positive environmentalism, something and all. So that when we cover this environment subject, we'll take that questions. So we'll come to this constitutional provisions and or verbatim used in the constitution and some preamble questions. So usually what happens with the UPSC questions is that according to the Constitution of India, in the Constitution of India, with respect to India, in the context of India, they use this thing. So then you have to know what is the verbatim used in the constitution. If not, you will go wrong usually, because we will not have such a calmer mind to read every word in the statement. We will be thinking that something has been given, this concept I know, and I'll attempt this question. You will not read the Constitution of India. I'll get to the questions. Okay, this is last year's question. What is the answer? Statement 2 is incorrect. Why? Constitution was? Okay, the preamble says that, right? So you should know that whether preamble says it or not. What if when you don't know? What if when you don't know? ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತಾ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಪ್ಪಿದೆ ಅಂತ? Did everyone know that? So how would you get the answer? What would be your approach? Someone who didn't know. Did you know that thing? You? So you would have left the question? No, what would be your stand? You'll think. So think for 2 minutes and we can discuss later. So second question. So this question is from the last year itself. And what is the answer for this? You should have seen these questions by now, because the pattern has changed drastically. And one thing I have observed is that there was no question mentioning which are not correct. They have always asked in last attempt the 1 pair, 2 pair, say, or 3 pair thing, or one statement, 2 statement thing. They have asked only what is correct answers, not the not correct answers. So this time they can ask that. Keep in mind to read the questions, the statements properly. So this one, can you tell anyone fast? B. Which one is the wrong thing? Which statement is wrong here? Which? First one. Article 355 says so, bro. Second one is wrong. There is no mention of the state providing legal counsel to the one who was under preventive detention. So Article 22, I think. But Attorney General, there are some restrictions where criminal proceedings have been instituted, where he has to appear for that criminal proceedings. He has to take the permission of the government and all. So that we can come to in that particular aspect. So this one, I would mark answer as A, the right to equality. See, when you have more money and I don't have, that is violation of equality, right? DPSP. Which article? Which article? 39 clause 39 clause B and C. Okay. Remember that UPSC can ask, give the article and then ask what is this, or give the explanation of that thing and ask what is the article related to those statements. Those questions will also come. What is the position of right to property in India? Why not constitutional right? What? Why not a constitutional right? I asked. Okay, is that option right? Then?
It is removed from the fundamental right. That is why it is not constitutional.
Okay. I'll ask next question. I understood. So, which article says so that the person has the right to property? 31 it was there. Now which article says that? 300A. Huh? 300A, right? Okay. So 300A is provided by constitution, right? So it's a constitutional right also. So why not constitutional right? Now you're telling that it's a legal right.
It's not very fundamental.
Okay, it is not a fundamental right, agreed. But why not a constitutional right if it's a legal right? See, the difference is that the rights given by every law is legal right. The rights given by the constitution is constitutional right. Okay? Every constitutional right is a legal right. But every legal right is not a constitutional right. You got the difference? So you'll get, I think, another question also in a similar manner. So you should have the clarity of what words they are using. They can use the words. There is some question called, what is the nature of right to vote? Is it a legal right or constitutional right? It is both. It is both. When legal right and constitutional right is given, then you have to choose that it's a constitutional right. Okay. If constitutional right is not given, only legal right is given, then also it holds good. So this I think everyone knows. Option D, right? B. So this question, can you eliminate anything under this question, these statements? What would be your approach? Like you look for whether I know the question or else whether this statement can be eliminated or not. 2 can be eliminated. 3 can be eliminated. So what is the answer then? 1 only. So is it only one domicile? One domicile. You can live in 3 particular areas, 3 particular houses, and then you can have domicile at each places, right? That's a confusion that we don't know. We don't have clarity about. But one citizenship, we have clarity. But these 2, we can eliminate the other 2. So this can be deduced through the elimination technique. So this question, have anyone seen this? I think 2020 ka question. So what can be the answer? Has anyone read UDHR? Universal Declaration of Human Rights? No? So then you cannot deduce the answer, right? 1-3. Why would human rights have fundamental duties? It's only talking about rights, right? Think fast. I have to go through many topics for you. Which one? D. So there are 2 articles which talk about duties, human rights, UDHR. And there are some articles which talk about the similar pattern which DPSPs has, like how state has to do better things for the welfare of the people. So that's why it is D. It involves all things. Sometimes you have to just go through that. You don't have to remember that. Which one? UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right? How many? So UDHR has fundamental duties, I said. So you're asking, the question is? The article 29, 30, I guess. There are only 30 provisions, I'm assuming, not assuming, I'm guessing. It's been long. The Constitution of India defines the basic structure. Does it define? So, is it right? So, this is how the question will be given. The Constitution of India defines it. So, that's when you have to understand that, okay, whether Constitution defines it or not. So, if you're mindful about the statement, then you can at least understand the statement and then deduce the answer. What about second statement? Huh? Wrong. Which article gives that? Many articles gives that. Not just one. 13, 32 to 26.
Stronger rights.
Which one?
Judicial review doesn't provide or it provides.
It provides.
I see somewhere that not mentioned and it does not provide explicitly like what I read so
Like explicitly it is not mentioned, but Supreme Court has recognized that judicial review as the basic structure. I'm not telling that basic structure is defined by the Constitution. First statement is wrong anyhow. The Constitution of India, it is not said it defines the judicial review. It provides for judicial review. That's what the verbatim you have to be careful about. It provides for judicial review. Article 13. What is judicial review?
Any laws which are should be under the like should be reviewed by Supreme Court.
Every law should be reviewed. Oh. Okay. Which violates the principles of the Constitution, provisions of the Constitution, not just fundamental rights.
I think I read somewhere that it does not provide, so that's why.
UPSC says that it provides, and I can't question the UPSC also now. So it provides. Maybe it doesn't. If it says that the Constitution of India mentions judicial review in such an article, then it doesn't mention anywhere. This one I think everyone know. Which one is the answer? Huh? Someone is saying C, someone is saying D. C or D? C. No, everyone should talk. Take a stand, make a mistake, then learn. Someone said A? D? See, is it a part of Constitution or not? Which judgment says that? Which is the another judgment that says it is not a part of Constitution? Huh? Berubari Union case. So, is it a provision of the Constitution? It is a part of the Constitution. Is it a provision of the Constitution? Not the provision. It is a part of the Constitution. Preamble is not part of the basic structure. Some values which are mentioned in preamble is part of the basic structure. But is it a provision of the Constitution? That's also one question you can ask about. It is a part. Is it a provision? The provision of the constitution gives some powers or limits some powers. This is how provisions are read. So it doesn't have any article written in front of it. So it's just an introductory part of it. So it just says that what our constitution in the future, or like say preamble, when we open the constitution, it is in the first page. It just says that in future, when you go through the other pages of the constitution, I just talk about these principles. So it is part of it, but it's not a provision of it. It doesn't give any power. It doesn't limit any power. You can just interpret the constitution, overall constitution, through these principles. So that's what the Supreme Court said it in which case? KB case. They can ask the case name also. So remember that possibly. So have the clarity when you read those things, which case, which year, possibly. They can change the year also sometimes. Maybe UPSC in this thing, civil services may not do. Maybe in other exams they can do. This one I think everyone knows. This might be a history question, but still because of the constitutional history, I took this question into polity discussion. Which one? Provincial legislature. Governor General. Provincial legislature. Governor General. So what is the position now? Who has the residuary powers? President? Center? Parliament is the better word. Union, you can say that union has a residuary powers. So it was Governor General back in 1935 Act. So it's just a factual thing. You should know that. If better if known. If not, how would you deduce that? Can you deduce it through elimination? See, it's a more of a factual thing. You just have to read that. Just have to remember that. So there are various types of answering this thing. One is knowing the thing. One is eliminating, which is known not to be the part of the question. The mind of makers of the Constitution of India is reflected in which of the following? I just said now. Sorry. Which one of the following objectives is not embodied in the preamble to the Constitution of India? Economic liberty. Is it economic justice given? Huh? So you have to think twice. We are reactionaries. We should respond. Okay? This is what happens in interview. As soon as the question is asked, we should not jump into yes or no. We should just take a pause and then you have to tell the answer. Because everything has black and white. This statement. Preamble. Is it preamble? I would vouch for DPSPs. What do you say? Preamble doesn't say that. Okay. Does preamble say anything about unity and integrity of India? It also talks about sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democratic republic. So why not preamble? Duties. Which article? Can you say? 51? Clause subclause. Okay, go back and have a look at it. Sometimes they might ask, which one of the following statements is correct? First one, is it correct? Why? Correct. Third one, C. First one is wrong. C. C option is the right answer for this. Seventh Amendment Act provides that governor can become a governor for 2 or more states. So other two also you just can read that the judges of the High Court of the states in India are appointed by governor of the state, just as the judges of Supreme Court are appointed by the president. Who appoints them? President appoints High Court judges. Does he consult a governor? No. Huh? Governor appoints. See, higher judiciary is Supreme Court as well as High Court. These both are called as higher judiciary. For that thing, president appoints judges of at both levels. He will consult governor. Consultation will take place. Which collegium? Supreme Court collegium. Does High Court have a collegium? Maybe you haven't read. Does High Court have a collegium? No. No, I'm asking. No. Go have some clarity. No, I'm not telling whether it has or not. Just have some clarity. Who appoints the chief minister in Union Territory? President. Lieutenant Governor or President? Delhi Lieutenant Governor is the executive head, right? So who appoints then? President. Someone is telling Lieutenant Governor. President. Okay. It is President because President directly rules the Union Territories. So NDC it's a whole old concept because it's not it's defunct now. They might not ask, but still we'll have some clarity of it. NDC is an organ of planning commission. Do you know planning commission? Have you read about it? So it was abolished back in 17. Until then, the expenditure was divided into planned expenditure and non-planned expenditure. So you should have basic knowledge about it. Sometimes it becomes a history, right? History question. Post-independence history, they can ask a question. So the economic and social planning is kept in concurrent list of the Constitution of India. So first statement, is it correct or not? So planning commission was a different institution and NDC was a different institution. It was not an organ of it. They had different purposes, different composition, different working. So the Constitution of India prescribes Panchayat should be assigned the task of preparation of plans for economic development and social justice. Is it right? Right? Because first one is wrong. Because only option left is 2 and 3. Amendments. So these have become important in recent times. So this answer is not clear yet, but still we think of it. What is the answer that institutes are giving? What? C, 44th Amendment Act. Okay. Let me ask you. 44th Amendment Act, did it amend these emergency provisions? Okay, what do you know about 44th Amendment Act? So how did you choose that? That's why think before you choose something. Everything. So what is the answer then? A. Why not B? B also made many amendments to the fundamental rights part.
The first amendment, 19th schedule came and the laws to overcome judicial.
Okay. So 42nd Amendment Act was comprehensive in nature. It has DPSPs changed. It has many provisions changed in various parts. That's why it doesn't come under directly the fundamental rights part. It was overall mini constitution. It is called as. So that's why it was comprehensive. But First Amendment Act focused more on fundamental rights. There were Champakam Durai Ranjan case. Remember? So in that there were pronouncements of judgments of the Supreme Court which was against the government's policies, like against the reservation policies of the which state? Madras back then. So that's why First Amendment is considered as the amendment which focused on only fundamental rights. But answer isn't clear yet. Let the UPSC decide. This one, can anyone say this? I think all statements are right? Why? Only money bill. See, bro, UPSC plays with these words only, must, should. So you have to be very careful when that is used. Even in your life, when you use must, you have to be very careful. So a bill amending constitution requires prior recommendation of the President of India. This is a procedure we have regarding amendment procedure. So that doesn't say this. So there are various another things, another provisions which says that prior recommendation of president is necessary. One thing is states regarding the reduction of which one? Union and its territories. So reorganization of the states, it requires prior recommendation of the President of India. So when that is eliminated, the other two statements are true necessarily. But what if are not correct was given? Only one is not correct. Did you read another two statements? You read? Is it obligatory for the president to give his assent for every bill that is passed by the parliament? Not obligatory. Okay. What if
After it is recommended
second time it's obligatory after reconsideration? What if the bill is private members bill?
bill, there is no, for ordinary bill, there is no such differentiation between whether it is a private member bill or a minister.
So usually when it's the government bill, the president gives the assent because the government says to give it. When government says to give it, president has to give it. That's the principle of parliamentary democracy that we follow, where nominal head has to follow the suggestions of the real head. He shall give the assent.
Some bills will be equal to president also. Example, during declaration of some, the postal department,
Okay.
that is vetoed.
Pocket veto.
Vetoed.
With he didn't withhold. He didn't take any action. So what is the question regarding that?
He did not give any assent, any consideration. Obligatory.
can we call that's a legal loophole that the constitutional makers has left? Yes. There's no time frame mentioned, so he can keep it as long as possible with him. He can take it to his residence also, enjoy with the papers. So it's better that you have more clarity on that, because these days there are discussions in the Supreme Court regarding the governor giving assent to the bills or not, with giving the assent to the bills, and or else reserving the bills to the president. In which state? Kerala and Tamil Nadu and Telangana also, Maharashtra also. So many governors. Okay. I took these election questions of every member, from member of parliament to the president level. Every election question I clubbed them into one head. So rather than going president's election into the executive part, we are covering these things in election things. So do you know how the president is elected? Electoral College of Okay. No nominated members should vote that. Okay. So it should have this elected members only. And then if there are vacancies, it doesn't matter. So the ground of vacancies, or some people who are not elected, that means vacancy by election hasn't taken place. That is not a ground for invalidation of president's election. And who can invalidate it? Only Supreme Court. See, we have integrated judiciary. Why not High Court? So it's a constitutional provision then. Constitution gives that. Original and exclusive. And what are the other things? What are the other jurisdiction which is original and exclusive? Which one? Center state disputes. Center state disputes as well as state disputes. So this one, which one is correct? Which one is the option that you can choose with the knowledge you have? Huh? No. Martodya. So just now we talked about it. There is no time limits given. There is no ground. The vacancies cannot be the ground for the postponement or invalidation of the elections. And then Supreme Court has the only Supreme Court is given the power to invalidate elections. But when the president has taken some actions when in power before the invalidation, his acts will not be invalidated. Okay, that remains unless they are unconstitutional. Consider the following statement in respect of election to the President of India. Have you read this question? Do you remember anything regarding this question? So more or less this question relies on one equation. Value of vote. How you calculate the value of vote? Number of population to number of elected members. Okay. So that 1000, okay, at least the elected members, if you know, if there are more elected members, less the value of vote. So that means Madhya Pradesh has more number of elected members. So according to that equation, it should have lesser vote value of each MLA. So this becomes a wrong statement. And then Puducherry, they say that it has higher than Arunachal Pradesh, ratio of total population to total number of elective seats. That's also same equation, but they have elaborated in a statement format. So Puducherry has less number of elected seats. Arunachal Pradesh has around 60. Puducherry has around 30. So with that, I think only one statement is correct. First statement is wrong. Nominated cannot involve in the voting process. But second statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. And then third is wrong. Fourth one? Yes. So this is election regarding Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay. Who sets the date for election of Speaker? President. For election of Deputy Speaker? For Speaker Pro Tem? Directly appointed by President. Pro Tem Speaker.
No election.
There is no election for that. So this one, do you have clarity about this thing? Have you read about these the speaker and deputy speaker thing? So can you eliminate any of the statements here? Second one, can you eliminate? This one? So it is seconded by the other third member, any of the members in the parliament. But when you don't know this part of it, you can remove second second option. When you remove that, this one and this one becomes eliminated. So other two options, one is anyway true. So 1 and 3 will be the answer. This question was invalidated by UPSC because of some wrongs they saw it in this. But recently there was discussions regarding limiting the number of constituencies. So how many constituencies can one person stand and compete right now? So EC has recommended that to reduce that, but Supreme Court has said that we leave it to the Parliament to take action. So just be sure of what the things are going on. So do you know these things like criteria for this thing for a person to become a member of a parliament, member of a legislative assembly? Age for minimum 34. 30 for okay. Okay. And then for panchayat? So this one? Can you read that? Permanently disqualified. Can a person be permanently disqualified? So which section says that? How many days will he be disqualified? If at all he is convicted for more than 2 years, if he is convicted, and then how many days after that? 6 years from conviction. 6 years from conviction. 6 years from date of release. Yes. because there was some aspects going on in Uttar Pradesh. Azam Khan, I think, he was convicted and his membership was removed. It was reinstated. That's why I don't want to take call on that. This one, this is factual thing. Is this the right thing? 44th Amendment Act did this. Which amendment then? Which amendment? UPSC can give the right amendment and then ask question again. They have done this in the previous years. It's 39th. Second statement. True. Which what is the name of that amendment? NJSC amendment. Nice. Again, with respect to the president's election, it was asked in 2018. So this one, the same equation applies here. Because every state has different number of elected members, every state has different number of people living there, population of the state. The vote of each MLA varies from state to state. It's obvious. And then the value of MP of Lok Sabha is more than the value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha. Is it right? Why? What is the equation for that? There is equation, bro. What is the equation then? Elected member of parliament. Okay, this is one question which I got regarding election commission. There are recent laws that has come up regarding the election commission. Be aware of that. Is it a 5-member body? So, what is the answer for this? Two only. Then 3-member body, but what is the answer for this? Which option? 2 and 3. 3 only, because Article 324, it says that everything comes, election process, everything comes under Election Commission of India. It has complete powers. Superintendents, something big words they have used. This one, it is regarding election process. Second one, why is it wrong? Second option, it is not mentioned in the constitution, right? So be mindful of what the statements they have given in the constitution, or else in the practice it's a customary thing, it's a mandatory thing. So be think twice, read it thrice, but think twice. This one criteria I think everyone knows. These are all more or less factual thing. Any citizen of India, can you eliminate that? How? Okay. He can also do right. Become a candidate, right? The thing is that any citizen of India, one who is 25, less than 25 also is a citizen of India. So we can eliminate it. And then a resident of a constituency from which the election is to be contested. Not necessary a resident. Our Prime Minister is not a resident of Varanasi. So he contests there. So it's possible, like take the examples, real life examples, and then extrapolate it to the UPSC answers. Anyone residing in India. So that's obviously it's a wrong answer. So any citizen whose name appears in the electoral roll of a constituency. That becomes the right answer for that. Okay. What about the first statement? Is it right or wrong? Who is then? Is Speaker a member of House? Speaker is a member of the House. What about Speaker Pro Tem? Is he the member of the House? Usually the oldest member of the House. So, does nominated members involve in removing president? So, they don't involve in the election process. They involve in removal. But the nominated members involve in election of vice presidents also. Am I right? Yes. Yes. And by far, in my experience, this is the most important subject or heading where most questions will be asked. Finance bill and money bill. Are they one and the same? No. Then, what about financial bill?
Financial.
No, I'm talking about general, ordinary financial bill and money bill and finance bill. Are they different or similar?
Finance bill is passed during budget.
Budget, okay.
Money bills can be passed in executive. That's what this.
See, both are similar, right? Financial and finance bill. Can't be passed in Rajya Sabha. What about finance bill? Finance bill should be passed in Rajya Sabha. Finance bill. I'm not talking about financial bill. There is finance bill, financial bill. So are they one and the same? You should have more clarity about that. Finance bill is more or less the money bill. So it is passed similarly only by the Lok Sabha, not by the Rajya Sabha. So that's why when the Lok Sabha transmits the finance bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. No, it is money bill again. When the Lok Sabha transmits money bill to the Rajya Sabha, it cannot amend or reject the bill. It can only make recommendations. Right. In case of the disagreement between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is no joint sitting for money bill, but a joint sitting becomes necessary for finance bill. Yes. Yes or no? Someone said yes. See, when it's a money bill, so how would the joint sitting do any justice for that? So they don't sit. So the equal powers of Lok Sabha with Rajya Sabha, right? Exclusive powers to ratify the declaration of emergency. Who ratifies that? Both ratifies that. And no confidence motion. Why? Why? This why can become another question. They have been asked. Why? Okay.
They're responsible only for the lower house.
Lok Sabha. Yes, exactly. So that's why only the no confidence motion can be passed in Lok Sabha, can be introduced in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. And then to impeach the president, both have powers. But the answer is only two.